Hi, my name is Third and Only, and today I'm showing you the Layman's Guide to Weathering, which is designed to be a beginner-friendly, essentially tutorial on how to weather. You can pick and choose what you need. There are timestamps in the description. We are starting off by base coating this Armageddon knee pad or thigh pad with Mechanicus Standard Grey. I'm now going to do a little bit of freehand so that we can get a bit more interest on this relatively plain knee pad, though there is more to come. I would say, just if you are starting off with weathering, it is harder to make weathering on dark surfaces look good, so I'd recommend when you're just first starting out, picking a light surface, easier to weather, like staining a white t-shirt. Now, on to the chipping stage. Now, chipping is the main component of weathering in my opinion, and we're coming in with Dawnstone to add these small sort of light flecks where we think the most worn areas will be, so on the corners, and you can also add in some slashes if you want to imply that it's been sort of cut at. Now we're going to bring in Skavenblight Dinge and use this to sort of dot into the middle of those spaces that we just made. Now this is going to create a 3D effect, as if the light areas are being sort of picked up on by the light above and this dark bit is a shadow within. It adds a nice 3D dimension to the chipping. Now I'm going to come in with some Balthazar Gold and I'm going to use this to paint the trim. Now this isn't actually weathering, but I thought I'd take you through the whole process of me painting this sort of thigh pad. Now I'm going to come in with some Nuln Oil and use this as a recess wash to visually separate the gold trim and the grey within. Now we're on to the grime stage. Now I know streaking grime is kind of scary for beginners, and it is what everyone uses in these grimdark paint schemes, but I'm not actually using it in a particularly complicated way. I'm just putting it on all around the edges and then using this sort of spongy foam to just wipe it away after a couple minutes or 30 seconds of drying. I'm actually coming in and doing it again, so though it is a very subtle effect, building it up in these sort of tucked away areas and corners can really make quite a big difference and impact on your model. Did also use this, but it's not very visible. Now we're on to the streaking section. I take a mix of Abaddon Black, Galdrax Sewer and Nuln Oil and put together this sort of streaking material with just drawing little streaking motions down from the sort of cracks and crevices here. Now onto the rust stage, and we get to use two of my favourite paints, Rhinox Hide and Troll Slayer Orange. Now I mix these in a roughly 50-50 ratio, and in some of the larger sort of dashes and dings, I decide to place this mixture in, which is going to begin to build up that sort of brownish orange colour of rust. We're then going to come back in with a more like 70-30 mix in some of the more established layers, and then finally we're going to come in with some pure Troll Slayer Orange, and that's really going to pump up that contrast and going to add a lot of visual interest and a nice extra colour into this mix. Now this is the Verdigris stage. I didn't actually want to put Verdigris on this panel, so I'm showing you on this old skeleton warrior I got off eBay instead. For this stage I'm using Nihilakh Oxide. I just dab on this paint and then wick it away again. Now I know that sounds very simple, and it is. Just choose the bolts and sort of mangled areas, slap this paint down and then just wipe it away again. It is pretty simple, but that's what this guide is meant to be. Okay, now we're on to the final touches. Now, you can pick and choose these as you will. Some of this might be useful. I take a mix of roughly 50-50 Iron Warriors and Balthazar Gold to create a slightly brighter but also very desaturated highlight. I do actually end up coming in and painting the skull and other details in silver and weathering them, but you'll see that now. So there it is, the Layman's Guide to Weathering. I hope you found this useful, and feel free to come back and use the timestamps to hop around and find out what you need to know. That's all. Bye for now.